minimum amount of research. That's just not true. It's not.
Them.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree with you. I think he is doing a lot of the stuff he promised. If you watch his interviews, he never said he was going to release the Epstein stuff. His people did. He never did. In interviews, he said the opposite. The stuff with the immigration, it's supposed to be just criminals. He never said that. He said he's deporting all them motherfucking illegals. The stuff with the Medicaid, he said he was cutting that.
He said he was cutting that.
No, I'm not going to sit here and say Trump in line. They know what it was. They just want to do an about face right now because they want to look like they're duped because they don't like the result. But he said he was going to do the tariffs. How is this not what he promised? I think that's a good defense for people like this because they can just say, oh, well, he lied to us. I was like, just do the minimum amount of research. That's just not true. It's not. And considering you have these super influential podcasts, you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, generate millions, you can afford to just hire a researcher to look into the facts. And don't ever forget the point. When Trump was in his face and he says, I'm a truthful person, Schultz laughed in his face because he knows the motherfucker's a constant liar.
Roll the clip.
Because I'm basically a truthful person, but frankly,
I hated the interview they did first time because they were cowards with it. They were. Let's just call a spade a spade. I think we could do that. They sat in front of the guy and didn't say anything flagrant, even though that's the name of their podcast. Why? Because they wanted access to him. And the reality is a lot of these comics say they want to be able to say these edgy things, whatever it is, because of free speech, but they get in front of powerful people and they turn into pussies. They turn into cowards.
I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. And the credible information's been given. Don't forget, we went through years of the Mueller witch hunt and all of the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake. All that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say let them have it.
About what happened with Epstein. Among them, Charlie Kirk, who was back on the topic last night, posting a list of, quote, action items to get to the bottom of the case. Megyn Kelly doubled down on her criticism of the Department of Justice in a blog post saying, nice try, but she will not be deterred from talking about Epstein, she said. Fox News host Bret Baier opened his show last night with coverage of the story. Podcaster Joe Rogan questioned the administration for its handling of the case.
They've got videotape, and all of a sudden they don't. You know, you have the director of the FBI on this show saying there's no if there was, nothing you're looking for is on those tapes. Like, what? Why did they say there was thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible? Why did they say that?
Right.
Didn't Pam Bondi say that?
Also calling for more clarity is House Speaker Mike Johnson, who pressed the administration for more visibility on the case.
It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide. I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there. And Pam Bondi, I don't know. When she originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents. As I understood it, they were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody.
Speaker Johnson joins other Republican members of Congress breaking with President Trump on this issue. Several conservatives in the House also spoke out yesterday.
Whatever they have, and I think Pam Bondi is turning it over to somebody else now, but whatever they have, it needs to be transparent. It needs to come out.
You don't think the Justice Department's been transparent?
No, I wouldn't say that. I don't know what they have. I mean, this all just came to a head, and we'll see. But on all this, it should be transparent. The American people need to see what's in there, and that's not hard.
Should there be an investigation or a special counsel investigation?
I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I just find them guilty and hang them publicly. I mean, that's not over the top either. I'm ready. I'm over it. It disgusts me. I'm big on clarity and transparency, and that's good reason people don't trust government, either party.
But you don't believe what the Justice Department is saying?
I don't know. No, I don't. I think I don't trust them.
I think moving forward, we need a special counsel. That has got to happen. There has to be a special investigation into this if we aren't going to be provided information. And so this is certainly important, and I want answers, and maybe that takes that special counsel to do so.
All right, so those are all Republicans calling for more information. Despite those calls, though, House Republicans blocked another amendment that would mandate the release of the Justice Department files on Jeffrey Epstein. Yesterday, Democrats tried to force a vote on a measure that would have required the DOJ to publish the files within 30 days. This comes just one day after Republicans on the House Rules Committee voted against attaching a similar Epstein amendment to a cryptocurrency and defense funding bill. Democrats have promised future votes on the measure, while Republicans are dismissing the move, calling it a partisan ploy. Republican Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee, who you just heard from a second ago, telling Axios, quote, "It's just politics. It's not about protecting little children." And that ticks me off. So, David French, you're writing about this morning. You've been writing about it quite a bit.
They've got videotape, and all of a sudden they don't. You know, you got the director of the FBI on the show saying there's no if there was, nothing you're looking for is on those tapes. Like, what? Why did they say there was thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible? Why did they say that?
Joe Rogan has officially.
I have the names of the people who are making the claim that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself.
You can't come to me and say, everybody I know says he killed himself. And then I respond saying, I actually have my own sources who say he didn't. And then you say, well, your sources are not valid because they won't put their names on it.
The same thing holds true for people who are making claims on the other side. Otherwise, I can claim that he was working for a cadre of space aliens who are blackmailing high-profile Americans in order to protect from a future invasion.
Megyn Kelly recently debated Ben Shapiro on the notion that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself.
Okay. So President Trump has acknowledged that the Epstein files exist here. President Trump has acknowledged that the files were written and that there is something there. He says that they were written, however, by his enemies and therefore will not be released. Whoa, what? By admitting that the Epstein files are real and have been written and that you've read them and you don't like their contents and they were written by your enemies, doesn't make the most compelling case as far as I'm concerned. Holy moly.
President Donald Trump told his supporters to stop caring about the Epstein files. As you can tell, that strategy not too successful, not yet. A lot more MAGA fury where that came from. As we mentioned, there are many more conservatives who were very unhappy with President Trump's response. Watch this clip.
We go to Travis in South Dakota. Hello, Travis.
Hi, Glenn. Hi, Jason. I tell you what, guys, I feel really betrayed and I feel really, really angry. We have a president who tells us to move on from Epstein because it doesn't matter. Are you guys still talking about this seriously? And yet he still talks about the 2020 election fraud.
I'm a free American. I supported Donald Trump in this last election. Yes, he did just actively cover up a giant child rapist ring, and I'm going to criticize him for that, okay? And I'm sorry, after all these years of us right-wingers saying, protect the children, come on, that's bad for your soul if you don't. You speak up about that. It's horrible what he's doing.
We went from, I've got thousands of hours of footage, to, there ain't no files, we ain't seen nothing. There's no list, I don't know.
I'm getting sick and tired of being lied to. I'm being sick and tired of all the lies. And by the way, I don't care if those lies are coming from someone with a D next to their name or someone with an R next to their name. I'm sick of the lies and I'm calling you all out.
All right, so a lot of passionate voices there. At least Fox News, that's got to be a safe spot for the.
And I think the real answer is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American. And we have every right to ask, on whose behalf was he working? It's extremely obvious to anyone who watches that this guy had direct connections to a foreign government. Now, no one's allowed to say that that foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into